All right, chalo, we'll start now. We have Shri Vidya. Hi, Shri Vidya. How are you?
Hi, uninvited guest, but
No, not at all. You're always invited. You're most welcome.
thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Saurabh, hi.
Hi, sir.
Hi. Hi, Uma. Hi,
Hi.
Okay, Anita, I can't see. Tanu, I can't see. Sonali, Ashish, Chilvi.
Hi, Bidan. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hello, Anita.
Hello all.
And
Okay, so I'll just tell you how this today's session is going to be. One, we are just going to take a broad overview of Tanu, good to see you. Right. So we're going to just take a broad overview of Vedas and how exactly, I mean, we can't necessarily do the justice in next 15 minutes. That's the time which has been allocated to me to kind of bring together an overview of what Upanishads, what Vedas is all about. And then what we are going to do is we are going to lay out the methodology of how this, you can call this Swadhyay or Satsang is going to work out. We will have 3 people making presentations today. And then we will roll out the modus operandi of how this group will be carrying on with this process on a weekly basis. The idea to put together this was very simple. The idea was to make sure that we continue our studies on a regular basis. Generally, what we have seen that when we are in a part of sessions, we feel really good, a lot of changes happen. If we need to sustain that on an ongoing basis, we need to have like-minded people where we can share, we can learn, and we can make this as an ongoing process. So this initiative is more from that perspective. There'll be very less that I will be talking about. I'll just facilitate the first session, and here onwards, the session belongs to each one of you. In the end, we will tell you how can we ensure that with less amount of work, how we can give the maximum amount of an output. So we're going to look into all these things. All right, so let's start with it now. Okay, so of course, we are giving obeisance to salutations to Adi Shankaracharya. What we are going to learn is Advait. And Swami Paramatmananda, because his notes will be circulated to each one of you for reference going forward. Not only his notes, his videos, and various other places where you will see a lot of things. Okay, now this is going to be a quiz. Here it goes. Who wrote Vedas? Anyone? And not the ones who are going to make presentations today, apart from them. Who wrote Vedas? Quick.
Bidan, I don't know the answer, but not me. Because I'm just getting people to open up to speak.
Ved Vyasa.
Ved Vyasa, he compiled Vedas.
I think Vedas are like Shruti and Smriti. They passed on like that from one generation to another.
See, this is where we are getting stuck, because when we consider ourselves of a Hindu or a Sanatana Dharma tradition, we need to know the origin. All right. Anyone else wants to give it a try?
I think Vedas was revealed to the rishis in their deep meditation.
Yeah.
So it was just compiled by Veda Vyasa.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Wonderful. So Vedas was not written by anyone. It's not a product of human intellect. It was revealed to special category of people called rishis. Rishis are very different from, say, gurus or a teacher or an acharya. Rishi, if you look at the root word of rishi, is drish, which means they had the first-hand experience of transcending this physical reality. So those are special people called rishis. All right. So who are the founders? So the Vedas were not revealed only to one rishi, but to multiple rishis. Is this okay? So there is not one founder of Sanatana Dharma or Hinduism. There are multiple founders, and the founders that we are not even aware of. They are called rishis. Now, what do we mean by it was revealed to them? So, and listen to this very carefully. So, when they went into deep states of super consciousness or meditation, there were some primordial energy vibrations. Those primordial energy vibrations were revealed to them, not heard. Because when you say hearing, you are basically taking help of a sense organ. These were beyond the sense organs. These were basically energy vibrations which were revealed to them. And when they tried speaking about this energy vibration in form of a sound, what came out was mantra. All right, therefore they are called mantra drashta. They have seen, or these things have been revealed to them in deep seats of meditation. The promise here is it can be revealed even today. If you and I decide to follow certain processes and follow it over a period of time and get into a deep states of meditation, these very these very energy vibrations can be revealed to anyone. All right. So it is like your phone, you have various waves. Depending upon the capacity of the phone, it can basically adopt certain sound waves. Suppose there is certainly electricity all around us, but we need to channelize those electricity. So these energy vibrations was known to those rishis in deep seats of meditation. And when they tried speaking about these energy vibrations, what came out of their mouth were mantras. What came out of their mouth was Sanskrit. What came out of their mouth was Vedas. Is this clear? So was it written by them? No. It was not written by them. It was revealed to them whenever you go in certain state of consciousness or certain state of awareness. Is this okay for all of you? Any questions so far? Perfect. Why this is called Apaurushaya? Because it is not created by human intellect. The Vedas are not formulated by human. It is Purushaya means of human origin and A means not. So this is not of human origin. A lot of people end up saying these might be the extraterritorial organs, or maybe some people who have revealed it, we're not getting over there. Those are specific speculations. The point is, this is how it is known. Is it okay? In fact, it's been told that as soon as 1934, there was Devaratha Rishi, and who was basically in Ramana Maharshi ashram, and he went into that deep space of meditation, and he started uttering certain sounds for 16 days, and the sadhaka was completely unaware, and his guru, which is Sri KKGM, meticulously wrote it down. So I'm just trying to say that these things are even possible today. All right, is it okay for all of you? Can we move on? Where did Vedas come from? It was revealed in deep seats of meditation. All right. Now let's come to the most interesting point. Okay, fine. It was revealed in deep seats of meditation. So what? Why should I care? What do you all say? Why should I care? Why do I even refer to Vedas? Anyone?
Because it's about me.
Okay.
Because we are all part of the one consciousness and in a way connected.
Okay. We are very close to what you're saying. All right. So why do we need to refer to these Vedas. So let us understand what does it do? What does this Veda talk about? Vedas basically talk about something called dharma. All right. Now, what is dharma? When we talk about dharma, most of us think that there are certain righteous activities that we should do, which is called dharma, which is not the case. Dharma comes from a root word called dhara. And dhara is something that holds everything together. So Vedas, so people who were these rishis who were contemplating, who went into deep seats of meditation, the reason that they went into those deep seats of meditation was not to find God, but to understand how the entire universe is functioning. What is the substratum of the entire universe? They called it Rata, RTA, Rata. You can just look at it. Now, the underlying point is that this Rata is a fundamental concept which says that there is certain level of a cosmic order. There is a cosmic order. There is certain kind of a harmony. The cosmos is not happening by its own. There is a certain order. There is a certain principle. There is a certain laws. Understanding that cosmic order, understanding the harmony, understanding the law was the initiative taken by these rishis. Having understood how the universe functions, how the cosmos functions, they want to use those understanding to help improve the human condition. How can it's like knowing gravity. Gravity is a dharma, it's a dhara, it's a law. Having known gravity, then what you do is you basically figure out how can you create electricity by using force of gravity, or how you can send a rocket to the moon by understanding gravity. So first you have to understand gravity. Gravity is dharma. Similarly, they were all interested in finding out what is the universal law, what is that cosmic order. That was the idea. And that enterprise is called as Rata. Right? So this is dharma. And then what is Sanatana Dharma? Sanatana Dharma is the cosmic order or the law which is not restricted to a specific time or a place. It is universal. It is applicable to any given point of time at any given point of place. So Vedas are basically referring to Sanatana Dharma, which means it is expounding on the laws of cosmos. It is expounding on the cosmic order. It is expounding on the principles which governs the cosmos. And having known that, it becomes easier for us to get aligned with the universal principle and move in the journey. Journey of what? Journey of self-realization, and which is also known as moksha. If you look at moksha, the moksha can be divided into two words, moha, shaya. Moha means delusion, shaya means removal. So once you remove the delusion by following certain practices, you can reach to a level of moksha. So what Vedas is trying to tell us is trying to expound on the cosmic order and giving us ideas and principles, how can we align ourselves to the cosmic order and finally achieve liberation. That is why people refer to Vedas. Does it make sense? Is it okay for all of you? That is why people are wanting to learn Vedas. Is it okay? Now,
I have
yes, please.
Yeah. So when we talk about removal of delusion, what if there are instances? Because certainly I feel that we live in duality where, you're a part of, at times you're completely involved with yourself, you work on yourself, meditation and all of that. But the moment you are back to your three-dimensional world where you have to be, as a mother, as a daughter-in-law of the house, you start taking responsibilities of the. So generally I feel that we live in duality. I mean, at least for me as an experience, it's living in a dual experience. So when we talk about, so when I'm here where I'm meditating and I'm with myself, I'm completely engaged with my universe. I would say me as a universe. So I have experienced moksha. So my question here is, are there like capsules of moksha, or it is like once and for all?
Okay. So Srividya, what you have experienced at those moments when you are there with your own is certain amount of stability, certain amount of calmness. And when you experience certain amount of calmness, you are certainly feeling good. You are feeling one with everything around you. However, moksha is all about experiencing the unity with everything around you, including the body and mind that you are experiencing, including all the body and minds which is available around you. So that is where the function of oneness that comes, wherein you don't see any difference between you and the others. So that's the state that you get in when you say, basically, when you reach to a level of moksha. The pleasure and pain will still be a part of the body and mind. That will not go. But you will basically see it from a very different perspective. So that's how the moksha actually occurs. Right. Now, who compiled this entire enormous, so when these Vedas or these utterances were experienced by multiple rishis at various given point of time. So it is Ved Vyas who compiled all the 4 Vedas: Rig Ved, Yajur Ved, Sam Ved, Athar Ved. So what do you mean by compiling? It's like having a telephone directly. Someone organizes it, correct? In a proper way, as per their functions, as per their specific applications, as per the domains, as per the semantics. We're not getting into all of it. But here is a man or the great guy who sort of put together, who basically received all the understanding of Vedas from different people, whatever was there, and he decided to basically put it out in a proper manner. So for Rig Veda has a particular style, Yajur Veda has a particular style, Sam Veda talks about a specific thing, and so does Asar Veda. And not only that, he also compiled, so that was compiled, he wrote Mahabharata, out of which Bhagavad Gita is a part of it. So Bhagavad Gita, if you see, is an essence of the Vedas or the Upanishads, so to say. So Upanishad is a part of Vedas. He also wrote Brahma Sutras and also classified 18 Puranas. In fact, if you look at Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita and Brahma Sutras are considered as Prathashtha Trayam, which means these are the 3 important texts that we should refer to whenever we are in doubt, or when we really want to understand what is happening. So the compiler is Maharshi Vyas. Now Vyas is basically a title. His name was Krishna Dvaipanya. He was the son of Saraswati and Raja Parashar, and Saraswati was a fisherwoman. So you understand, people talk about casteism, but he was the one who was of a lower caste, but he is the one who compiled Vedas. Just to give an idea about when people talk about casteism and Hinduism, I mean, it's counterintuitive. All right. Now let's go to each Veda has 4 parts. It has Samhitas, Brahmanas, Aranyakas, and Upanishads. Now, Samhitas are basically the hymns. So what happens is, when someone is writing a Veda, they try to glorify or personify the natural forces. So for example, Agni gets personified as a Devata, right? The Indra is nothing but a personification of certain forces. So that is what Samhitas is. Earlier, before you want to do any activities, you would want to pray to the natural forces to make sure that your process is unhindered and you can evoke certain energies within yourself. So that is what Samhitas is all about. Then Brahmanas are basically rituals. What do you do, how you should create a Havan Kund, what you should be doing, what you should not be doing. It has process by process, it details and entails everything in terms of how to do Samhitas. So this is a part of Karma Kanda. All right, this is Karma Kanda. Now comes Aranyakas. What happens over here is, in Aranyakas, it basically means forest or wilderness. Here people basically leave their family life, or they, along with their family life, family move to the forest. Why do I say forest? They move into contemplation. They move into deep meditation. And that is where the Upanishads are uttered. All right. So this is Aranyakas and Upanishads are basically referred to as Jnana or Jnana Yuga. It's basically where you are talked about a lot more philosophical aspects. That who are you? What is this universe? Where is God? So Upanishad, if you break it down again, Upa means come near, and Shad means to take away, right? So it's basically, it is somewhere you come near your guru to take away the darkness or take away the ajnana, right? So it has 4 parts. So Samhitas, Brahmanas, Aranyakas, and Upanishads. So what we are generally focusing mostly is on Upanishads, not on Samhitas and Brahmanas. That is Karma Kanda. Those are mostly ritualistic processes that we follow to evoke certain energies within yourself. Whereas if you really want to understand your real essence, who you are, how you are aligned with the larger forces, what is that Rita, it's sort of Aranyakas and Upanishads comes into picture. Yes, Anil.
Can liberation be attained with all the other Samhita and Ramana rituals and all that?
See, liberation is basically, what is liberation is what we have to understand first. Liberation is where I have understood my real essence. Now, Karma Kanda is a process to reach to liberation. It creates, it does help a lot. So can Karma Kanda in itself lead to liberation? Maybe the answer is no. For you to know your real essence, the knowledge has to be revealed. Right? However, if someone does Karma Kanda and does it in a manner that he or she himself becomes a Rishi or Rishika, then yes, possible. Because the knowledge can be known in deep seats of meditation. Either it is revealed to you by your guru, or you through certain practices move into certain superconscious state. So if you use Karma Kanda to reach there, why not? That can reach to liberation. But is that enough? Maybe no.
Something like Mirabai or I know Tulsi Das and Kabir Das and all that. Could we call them as samhitas? The karma kandas.
That's a wonderful point, Shri Vidya. So what happens is, if you see, there are 4 paths of yoga which has been established to reach to liberation. One is basically karma yoga, right? Second is bhakti yoga. That is where we are talking about Mirabai. Third is Jnana Yoga, which is where Upanishads comes into picture. Fourth is Raj Yoga, which is where a lot of meditation and a lot of Kriya comes into picture. So these are the 4 paths that can be taken for liberation. Either you can be a Karma Yogi, either you can be a Bhakti Yoga, or you can do Raj Yoga, or you can do Jnana Yoga. Right? So yes, coming to the part, so these Vedas has these 4 specific parts. So all the 4 Vedas, if you see whether Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sam Veda, and Athar Veda, will have all those Samhitas, Brahmanas, Aranyakas, and Upanishads. And what we are going to focus mostly is on Upanishads. We are not going to focus on Samhitas and Brahmanas. That's not the place we are actually going to put together. And there are some of the interesting Upanishads which are coming out of each of the Vedas. So Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Athar Veda, and Rig Veda. What we are going to learn as we go along is something we should actually focus on. Isha Upanishad, Katha Upanishad, Brihadarika Upanishad. These are all the part of Yajur Veda. So we will talk about it as we go along. But there's a problem. The problem is that if you basically go to Upanishads directly, forget about even Upanishads. Even if you go to Bhagavad Gita directly, you will encounter a lot of complications. What do you think are the complications that you encounter? If you go to them directly, what happens?
The interpretations could be multifold.
Yeah.
Which could be difficult for us to, decipher.
Absolutely.
Because the commentaries sometimes are also a little contradictory, depending on the interpretations.
Right. Absolutely.
Also, like it has good or as simple as our elementary school that we need to learn the letters first and then put them together to understand the vocabulary, the pronunciations, the meanings, the various meanings, and in the context in which each group of letters can be used.
Yes.
So where we arrive at Upanishads assumes or thinks that, rather, it doesn't assume, it presumes that we need to be aware of certain terminologies and certain things before we dive into the depth of the Upanishads.
Absolutely.
So that becomes very important to start off with a structured learning where before we dive into physics, a math, if you want to do a math first, the numerics have to be learned with, starting from the integer of 0. So that's where we have to begin. Then getting into Upanishads and the permutation combination, and then we are, we can use the words the way we are, like how we are talking today. Yeah. Comprehending, understanding, accepting, and, reproducing becomes a easier thing.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Uma sir, for such beautiful explanation. What Uma said is absolutely right. We need to know the letters before we construct sentences. So let me take a very practical example. When we use the word Atman, a lot of things, and we have some point in Bhagavad Gita, you will feel that Atman is inside the body. It moves from one body to another. And then you realize in the end that no, the Atman is everywhere. There is only one Atman, and I am within the Atman. So the word can be used at multiple levels. Sometimes the Atman is referred to as Sukshma Sharira or to Karana Sharira. So you need to understand what are these terminologies all about? What is Atman? What is Sukshma Sharira? What is Karana Sharira? What is where is this coming from? What is Brahman? What is Turiam? What is Ishvara? Ishvara is also a very technical word. It's not necessarily God, right? What is Paramatma? What is Atma, Paramatma, Aikyam? So these are all specific words. So please understand that Upanishads or Vedas are very technical subjects. And we need to understand the words, because what has happened, the words has been used by itself in multiple ways. And therefore, when we read these things by ourselves, we tend to get confused. And so before we get into learning these by ourselves, it is important that we understand the nuances. And that is what we are going to start with. We are going to start with Prakarana Grantha, which Uma is going to talk about. And before we move to Prakarana Grantha, what is important, and the reason we have put together this concept of Swadhyay is because it's been clearly stated, if you really want to realize yourself, whatever it means to everyone, you have to go through a process called Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasana. Shravanam is all about listening in a structured manner over a period of time from a competent teacher. So listening cannot be sporadic. Aaj ye sun liya, kal wo sun liya, today I have listened to this YouTube, tomorrow I have listened to this thing. Listening in a structured manner. Number 3, over a period of time. It can't be 1 week I have listened or 2 weeks I have listened. And 4th, from a competent teacher who knows what he or she is talking about. That is Shravana. Having done Shravana, we need to go to Manana, where we reflect. Does it make sense? Does it make sense to my common sense? Or it is all up in the air? And then Nididhyasana. We start implementing in our daily lives. So Swadhyay, the process that we are going to use right now, will have all these 3. Each one of you are going to learn by yourself. you will reflect, you will present, and you will work in a group. So ultimately, the Swadhyay process is Shravanam, you will listen in a structured manner over a period of time from a competent person. The links will be given, everything will be given to you. Mananam, you will reflect on it. And after reflecting on it, you will come and present in front of the group, because people will ask you questions, and therefore you have to be clear before you make presentations. And what will happen because of Shravanam and Mananam, Nididhyasanam, or you will automatically start seeing changes happening within yourself. Because when you start talking, when you start teaching, it starts working in your subconscious level itself. So this is what we are going to do on Swadhyay. So just to give you a glimpse of how we are going to do it, we have three of us who is going to make presentations today. We'll have Uma is there, Prema is there, and where is Sahana is also there. All right. Is it fine for all of you? Any questions? Fine then. So Uma, you're going to make the presentation first. I'll present the screen right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, this. Yes, just give me a moment. Yes. Okay. Sorry, Uma, I don't know why this is not happening. Just give me a moment. Maybe I'll do it my way. Just give me a moment. I just don't know why this is getting stuck. Doesn't happen. Yeah, should happen now. Yes. Over to you.
Yeah. As we were discussing, coming back, Bidan, can you go to the Prakarana Grantha slide? I think the next one.
Okay.
Yeah. To understand these Upanishads and all the scriptures that we are talking about, there was some device that was made and to make things easier, which is called as the Prakarana Grantha. So what is Prakarana Grantha? Prakarana Grantha is, it could be a compilation of illustrations, a dialogue between a guru and a disciple, or between two disciples, where in a particular subject, to understand it through, they take us through these basic topics or basic things that are going to be covered in the Upanishads. This is called as Prakarana Granthas. There are many such Prakarana Granthas. For example, one is the Tattva Bodha. Tattva Bodha is the elementary Prakarana Grantha for any Vedantic learning. This is the elementary Grantha. The other Tattva, apart from Tattva Bodha, there are also other Prakarana Granthas. Like, for example, Viveka Chudamani, which is again compiled and written by Adi Shankaracharya, and also Panchadashi, which is written by Vidyaranya. So here in the Prakarana Granthas, we are broadly dealing. It's a kind of a glossary, I can say, or which is made simpler with a hypothetical dialogue or illustration or a story based. It can be anything where the broader concepts of the Upanishad and the Vedantic philosophy are addressed. So Tattva Bodha becomes the first and the simplest of the Prakarana Granthas. So it's an introductory text that will deal with basically the self, that is the knowledge of the self. Okay, first of all, Tattva Bodha. itself means the knowledge of truth. And tattva in Sanskrit means a doctrine or a principle. It can be. So it is tattva bodha. It's a doctrine of truth related to Advaita philosophy, Advaita Vedantic philosophy in the Advaita sector. So Tattva Bodha is the first of these texts, elementary texts. So Tattva Bodha translates to knowledge of truth. So knowledge of truth. Truth about what? It's the knowledge of self. So it is the knowledge of a self as well as that is a self, an individual, and the world around the individual. That is the prapancha and the relationship between the two. So this deals in breaking up this way. So what here we are going to deal with is 6 main topics Tattva Bodha addresses. It is nature of an individual. That is the Jiva Swarupam. What is the nature of the individual? That is what it tells us. Next is what is the nature of the universe the individual is experiencing. That is the Jagat Swarupam. And what is the creator, that is between the creation of both, the creator of Jiva as well as Jagat. That is the Ishvara Swarupam. Ishvara here doesn't necessarily, or please don't take it as God as Ishvara. Ishvara is a different entity here. And see, all of us are, we are living in a world where there are a lot of so-called problems. So it is the samsara swarupam. What is the samsara swarupam? Samsara itself is the word Sanskrit means, that is, which is a sagara, which is, which will have a lot of elements in it. Okay. So now we are all floating in this whole thing. So what is the way of liberation to do that? That liberation is called as moksha. Moksha means not necessarily, it never means moksha from that one goes away from this thing. Moksha from thoughts, moksha from ego, moksha from the I-ness. It can be moksha from anything. And what is the way of achieving this moksha is called the sadhana swarupa. That is the tools of attaining these moksha. These are the things that Tattva Bodha addresses. Why should it address it? Why? We know all what is this. So we all are living with a lot of vrittis. And I think all of us have, and Vidhan has explained to us in our previous classes, vritti, impression. Literally, the Sanskrit translation of vritti is an impression. So vritti, nivritti is something that is ni means within. In Sanskrit, ni means it is within. So nivritti is some impressions that are within us. So first of the nivrittis is ajnana nivritti. We have spoken about this quite a bit in our thing of ignorance. That is that we call it maya, we call it ignorance. It is there. So it gives us the benefit of liberating ourselves from this ajnana vritti. And second vritti is samshaya nivritti. We are always in doubt. Who am I? That is the big doubt that we are all carrying today. Why should I read the Upanishads? That is also there. What is this going to do to me? Everything that we see within us, samshaya starts off with us only. Am I capable of doing it? Why should I do it? If I do it, what is the benefit that I'm going to get? Is what it is. So it frees us from the samshaya nivritti. Okay. And viparyaya nivritti. Viparyaya means misconceptions. Like we all have a lot of misconceptions when it comes to, as Vidhan was trying to tell, whether it is religion, caste, and whether me being so and so can do the Upanishads or not, can study. These are the misconceptions we carry within ourselves. And okay, whether I am the Brahman or not, that misconception we really don't know. If I am, then why? So it helps us to liberate ourselves from the viparaya nivritti. And aghata nivritti. Aghata is adverse effect. This is where every commentator brings into picture the greatest sentence of Bhagavad Gita, the greatest shloka of Bhagavad Gita that says that Sukha Dukkha Sametvatva Labho Labho Jaya Jaya, where it says that whether it is Sukha or Dukkha, we are talking about Sukha and Dukkha as two adverse effect of anything that is there. Dukkha, adverse effect, we are completely involved, completely immersed in that. Why me question? And when the Sukha is also there, we also put an adverse effect into it, saying that, oh, this is not going to last. So how, it's not going to last, it's not going to last. So how to view this in an equal sense? See, we cannot reach a state of samstita prajna where, it is, we are going to take it completely. It is difficult. We all have to go there. So, but it helps us in coping with this agata nivritti, adverse effect. Adverse can both be positive and not so positive. Both are adverse only. Adverse is a common word for both. And next is that how are we going to get this efficiency in working with this? How are we going to develop this efficiency is the dakshata prapti. So Tattva Bodha will address in subtler manners. And Tattva Bodha deals, as I said, each Prakarana Grantha has a way of dealing. Tattva Bodha deals with the dialogue between a student and a teacher or a guru and a disciple. It is a hypothetical dialogue. When we do another Prakarana Grantha, it may deal with an illustration or a story or a prose or anything like that. So Tattva Bodha deals with the dialogue. So it is mainly the questions that are put across and the answers that I've got. And there could be many answers, as they say, that the guru's answer may be just a silence, where the commentator or a guru or whoever has written it can be just silence. That is where he or the person is giving us the thing for contemplation. Because Vedanta and Advaita philosophy is so vast, rather even the Sanatana Dharma is so vast, there's nothing right and nothing wrong. Everything is right. Every concept is right, every doubt is right, and every question is right. So there's nothing like that. So the contemplation, each one of us understands it in our own way. So it is, even the silences also have been told in Tattva Bodha, like, okay, if the guru is silent, what is it that has to be contemplated there? Maybe that's the time for contemplation. So these are the basic tools, the first elementary book that deals, where we get introduced to a lot of words like Ishvara, Jagat, our own self, individual, knowledge, gnana, agnana. So we start using this. We take these tools, ingredients, and use it in accordingly in different Upanishads, which we will be addressing further on. I don't know if I could put across.
Thanks, Uma. It was beautiful the way you explained. We're able to, relate to what we are reading.
I just want one previous slide for me to kind of map before this. Yes, Tattva Bodha. Okay.
Please feel free to ask any questions from Uma. She has prepared a lot for this presentation. So
there is a lot of, first thing is it is hypothetical, right?
Yeah.
Second thing is it is a dialogue between
Yes.
a guru and a disciple.
Yeah.
So for me, this situation is like I am talking to myself. I am the guru, I am the disciple, and I am talking to myself. And that's my understanding. As you said, everybody has their own understanding. So because it is hypothetical, I'm looking at it that my higher self is talking to myself to convey something to me. And when in silence, probably that's the time for contemplation. I mean, that's my understanding.
I agree. Just now you were just trying to tell that there is something, the self, the spiritual self. I don't know if I'm using the right word, but that self of you, which is in the spiritual path, and you are trying to be that. But again, you are coming back to the samsara, and there is a conflict between the two.
Yeah.
Just when we started the class, you just spoke about it actually. That you know, there's something, two different sides, but you're again dragged back. So this Prakarana Granthas and further on Upanishads try to help us. See, we all have to live here. I mean, it's a very wrong concept that Upanishad has to be learned only by a sannyasi. No, in fact, it is the best tool for living in the world, like Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So this is where you will contemplate and you will come to, how that shift of being in the samsara and the materialistic thing and this spiritual thing does not conflict your internal self.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Amma. Thank you for this wonderful presentation. Thank you. Very nice. Okay, now we are Sana, your turn.
Yeah. I'm starting with the Shanti mantra. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvi Namaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we all know this is a very well-known prayer where Vedic student is seeking for the grace of Lord for the successful completion of any study project. So here, Om is one of the name of the God. Though God has many names, we are addressing with the Om. Om is a protector. So we are seeking Sahana now Vavattu. Now, when we split this word, now means both. Who is both here? Guru and the Shishya. So we are seeking for the protection for both of them by making the communication successful here. Yeah? Wherein Guru must be able to communicate properly and Shishya must be able to receive the knowledge properly. Wherein the Guru is converting his thoughts into words and Shishya is converting words into thoughts. So both ways, the conversion and the reverse conversion should be successful. So may Lord protect us both by making communication successful. Avattu, that means Avattu, right? Sahanau Bunnattu. Here again we are asking for the protection. Why are we doing this study or studying scriptures, or why are we doing all this? It is not to get a degree or not for any academic interest, not for any publicity, not to tell others that I am doing this study. It is for my own transformation. So how am I how do I know that this transformation is happening? When I know my personality is changing, transforming, through my transformation it is benefiting myself, my family members, neighbors, employers, and in turn the nation itself. That is the degree here we are talking about. So that is the so it is like we are praying God to be able to assimilate the teachings, and only the assimilated knowledge can transform us. It is like not everything we eat doesn't convert it to health. Only the digested food, how it is converts into a health. Only the assimilated knowledge can transform a person. So we are asking for the blessing for the information and blessing for the transformation. And Sahaviryam Karavavahai. Saha is together, Viryam is Prayatna, the energy. Kara is hand, Avahai is bring into use. So Prayatna plus Ishwar Prasada is Vijaya. So that means, so we are saying just by the God's grace, everything is not sufficient. Like God's grace may create opportunity or circumstances for the study, but in addition to that, one's own is very, very important. So one sit for this session, one has to put that effort to come and sit in this class regularly. It is like going to school or college with that commitment. So without giving any blame. So it is like we are praying God that along with the opportunity and the grace, it is very, very important to put one's effort to learn this knowledge, right? That is prayatna. So we are seeking grace for the effort and the faith and the free will here, right? And the next is Tejasvi Namaditamastu. Tejasvi is having a great energy. Now is both. Adi is intellect or the study what we are doing. Tama is higher degree. Astu is so be it. So here we are saying whatever the learning I'm doing, let it be bright in my mind. Let it not fade away. So as it is very important that whatever we study, the retention is very, very important as the reception also. So everything I learn should be bright in my head, in my memory, so that I can use it in my day-to-day interactions. And so every time I come to the class, I make sure that whatever is taught in the previous class is it is in my mind, because it is all a build-up, right? So finally, Ma vidvi shavahai. That means we are saying that, let there not be any stain or a hatred between the guru and the shishya, right? Uh, because earlier the guru used to depend on shishyas for a lot of he used to give them certain amount of work or a task, wherein shishya used to get doubt whether that why the task was given. So wherein the guru, earlier there was no salary or anything, wherein the guru was only, his intention was to give the knowledge completely to the shishya. So he was only expecting that, only the freedom, the ultimate freedom that guru expects is that shishya should not even depend on guru for his emotional comfort also. So guru will allow the shishya to depend on himself only at the time of learning. But at the end of the learning, the relationship is so free that both don't depend on each other for their fulfillment. So that is so. And we are saying Mahavidvishavaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shanti Shanti is, we are also praying that there will let there not be any obstacles. Obstacles from me, my own self, my body and mind, or obstacle in the nature. It can be neighbors, animals, livings, even from the mosquito also, and obstacle from the divine forces. It can be any natural forces like flood, drought, or earthquake. So we are saying Shanti, Shanti, Shanti 3 times, saying that may that obstacles also be not there, at least for that 1 hour where I'm sitting to do the study. So we are repeating the Shanti for 3 times. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Sahana.
So nice.
Really fantastic. I mean, I don't know whether it's coincidental, but it starts with Sahana Vavatu, and we had Sahana say that.
She picked up for that itself.
I know.
That's
She
perfect.
picked it up for that itself. She said, let me begin with my name.
Oh, great. That's great. And
Understanding myself and my name.
Yeah, understanding
Got
myself.
it.
that's wonderful. And let me tell you this. I've said this prayer, whether it's in a yoga class or things like that, but I think what I realized today was I only uttered it because I mugged it up. I only probably knew what was Shanti, 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 the last part, but yeah, thank you for letting me know what I've been uttering for so long. Thank you.
Thanks for the opportunity also. Yeah.
Wonderful. That's so nice the way it has been put together. That's great. All right. So we have please Prema.
Yeah. So this is a prayer verse. Actually, this comes in the beginning of the class too, if you go through the material of the Tattva Bodha. So this is actually supposed to have been written by Adi Shankaracharya or his successors, who are also called Shankaracharyas. There's a long line of Shankaracharyas. So we just go through the verse first. Vasudevendra Yogindram Natva Jnanapradam Gurum Mumukshunam Hitarthaya Tattvabodho Diyate. So all this says is that the author begins by seeking the grace of his guru to spread the Tattva Bodha. So this text is basically being presented by me. That's what the author says. Bodha usually means a means of acquiring the knowledge. So what is the knowledge we are trying to acquire? It is the Tattva. Tattvam is the universal truth. So as already we saw in Uma's presentation, the interaction between the jiva and the world, the cosmos. Basically, this leads to a lot of, negative situations, positive situations, pain, pleasure, consequences thereof, all that. So basically, the Tattvam tells us the truth behind this whole universe. So the scriptures also talk of the third component, which is the creator or the Ishwar. So we're coming to the actual meaning of the verse now. For whom is this knowledge required? Mumukshunam hitarthaya. Mumukshuna means the seeker who is trying to attain the spiritual moksha. So the removal of the delusion, as we discussed. So it is for the seekers. And hitarthaya, it is for the benefit. Hitarthaya means benefit of the seeker. So this Tattva Bodha is meant for them. And for that, Vasudevendra Yogindram means, here we are, I think we have it. So the salutations to Vasudevendra. Here there are a couple of interpretations. One is that the reference is to the son of Vasudeva. That is Lord Krishna, who has preached Gita. And the other interpretation is that, assuming that Adi Shankara has written this, so it could be he was the disciple of Govinda Padacharya. So and Krishna is also known as Govinda. So that's the other angle to this. So this entire Vedanta, since it deals with Tattvam, the Tattvam is also known as the Brahman or the Atman. So there are different synonyms for this. So the text basically that is to follow would be throwing light on these aspects. And Natva Jnana Pradam Gurum. Natva is salutations. Jnana Pradam Gurum is the teacher spiritual teacher who is full of knowledge. So my salutations. That is what the author is trying to say. So this is, basically it's a prayer verse, and it starts with the salutations to the Guru before getting into the actual text of Tattva Bodha. And most of the text in Tattva Bodha is in prose form. There are some verses like this. That's it.
Thank you so much, Prema. Thank you so much. So beautifully explained. All right. So we see here that three of us who presented are just like any one of us here who have just recently started their journey on scriptures or on Upanishads. So, for example, the next verse will be this. This will be the first shloka of Tattva Bodha. So, when we're going to do it, someone within you will pick up this shloka and will present it in 5 to 7 minutes. That's the idea. Now, I'm just stopping this presentation just to kind of give an overview of what we have done so far. So how we are going to do this self-study? We will create your own group of maybe seven of us, and there will be 3 people in each group. And there will be a particular shloka which will be assigned to you. Along with the shloka, you will also be given the resources where you can learn the correct pronunciation, where you can understand the word by word meaning, where you can read the entire meaning of the shloka, and where you can even listen if you are not very inclined in reading. So everything that enables you to present that shloka will be made available to you. You don't need to go looking for where do I find the meaning, where do I find the correct pronunciation, nothing. Everything will be given to you. What is required will be is to pick up the shloka between 2 to 3 of you who are in a team, work on that. It shouldn't be taking more than 15 to 20 minutes maximum in a week. Meet every day that we have assigned, maybe a Tuesday or a Wednesday evening for an hour, and present this 6 to 7 shlokas. Each team will present it. Is it clear for each one of you? This is how the entire Swadhyay process will happen, wherein you will learn, you will research, you will present, you will discuss, and you will eventually start teaching. All right, any questions?
I just wanted to add one thing about this prayer verse which we went through. Usually we assume that the student would pray before the learning process starts. But in our tradition, it's so beautiful that the guru himself also prays to his gurus, you know, and and salutes his own gurus. It's not just one way.
Thank you, Prema, for being with us. Yeah, it's right. Great. So any questions any one of you have?
So
Mhm.
Vidhan, we are 17 of us right now. So you're saying we are going to make a group of how is it going to happen?
So maybe 17, I think some of them would have not been able to join. So we'll just quickly take a poll in terms of who would want to actively be a part of the group. So my understanding is, given the allocated time of 45 minutes to an hour, we cannot take more than 7 shlokas. Right? Each shloka will take around 5 minutes just to. So then if 7 shlokas has to be presented, then how many teams we need? We need 7 teams. So if we have 21 people, 3 people. We have 14 people, 2 people in one team. So we'll create that team beforehand.
Okay.
Yes, Anita.
If we are not comfortable presenting,
Yeah.
Can we be a silent spectator, or it's not possible?
Of course, yes. It's going to be a teamwork, but what it means is that somewhere we have to work behind the scene if we do not want to come out and present. So what will happen? The team will at least meet once before the presentation happens for half an hour or so, just to quickly discuss within themselves. So if you're uncomfortable presenting, absolutely no problem till the time the team is doing the work.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
I have a question to ask with the previous presentation by Prema, the shloka that was presented. I mean, just looking at the words and how the interpretation has been given about Vasudevendra. I mean, it's my thinking, Prema. It's not about, you know. So I was just looking up also. See, Vasudeva is like the divine, right? So Indriyas are our senses. The one who is able to control the senses is the one who is able to gain knowledge. I mean, according to that, if you can just play that sentence. I mean, show me that slide. Before this. So Yogindriyam, it's like union with my own senses. And if I'm able, and having saluted to my own, because I mean, just today morning, I don't know why I'm attending this workshop. Today morning, I wrote in my journal also that I am the divine. There is no divine in me, but I am the divine. And how a divine works is how I have to be, right? So this form of this thought just came to me, that if I am able to surrender to myself, my bring control to my senses, so I am the guru, and for the seekers, that is me, for the benefit, that is tattva bodha is expounded for that particular seeker. I mean, this was my interpretation. If I'm wrong, maybe Vedant can wrong or right, or wherever it is, if you can just clear this. For me, this was the interpretation I received. Yeah.
I think this is just the, prayer verse between the Shishya to his Guru in this context.
Okay.
I mean, this could be extrapolated to different, our situations and what we might be, using it for. But in this particular text, in this particular verse, it's basically the salutations to the Guru. That is how it's been interpreted. Yeah, as you pointed out, it could be, extrapolated to different, our own personal, situations and
Experiences and
circumstances.
interpretations. Okay.
Yeah, in this particular verse, and in the context that the verse has been, formulated by Shankaracharya, he is referring to his Guru. So there are a couple of interpretations which I mentioned, as far as that context is concerned. One is Lord Krishna, because he is also a universal Guru in the context of the Gita, having been preached by him. And the other one is the usual Shankaracharya's Guru. It could be interpreted as either way. See here, no, it's not clear whether Adi Shankaracharya first of all wrote this verse. It could have been any of his successors also.
Okay.
So in that, I mean, if we look at it only in that context, this would make sense. That's all it is.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the.
If I may just add, Srividya, I know what you were saying when you said that. Yeah, it is true that it's yourself that is the guru, and yourself that is the student and everything. It's like but when you're having a meal, you're thankful to the strength of your teeth that you're able to chew it well and digest it. So the teeth is you, just like every other part of your body is you. But at that moment, you're thankful to your teeth that it's able to, help you digest the food. So later on, you're thankful to your stomach or your digestive juices, like that. So at a given point, like Prema was saying, and in that context, like for example, for this very what do you say, seminar that we are having on the session, Bidan has brought all this together. So we're thankful to Bidan for doing this. So he's our guru right now. So it's like that. In the overall context, yes, we are all one. So Bidan is me, I'm you, everyone is everyone. So in that context, yeah, you can say you are the guru, you are the seeker and everything. But then at each context, the term guru and student gets shared by different
yeah, basically the guardrails are being defined by this text which we are trying to understand right now.
Thank you for that. I think that was kind of both of you to kind of give me the download of because see, there is a lot of this session for me was meant to be there today. It was just, I think 5 minutes ago I told Anand I also want to join, because these questions have been coming in, especially from past 1 week to 10 days. So many questions, and here I see suddenly it's like when you started talking, when Vedant started presenting and all of you started, I said, wow, this is probably where I was meant to be today. Yeah, and I thank you for the opportunity so much.
It was meant to be.
Wonderful. Thank you, Shreya, for asking these questions. Prema and Santosh, thank you so much for putting it across. Perfect. So, getting back to where we started from. So, is this process clear to each one of you now in terms of how we are going to take this forward? Any questions that you have? Is it okay? We will formulate the group in the back end and we'll let you know who the group is going to be. And maybe after some point of time, you can mishmash in terms of whatever. Ideally, we didn't want to have groups. We thought everybody should be presenting, but we don't have so much of time. We'll try to restrict it. See, already we have crossed more than an hour 15 minutes. We wanted to keep it 45 minutes to an hour maximum. So let's start with that. Is it okay for each one of you? Let's start this. See, we will have some teething issues. Let me be very honest. We'll have problems. We'll have ups and downs, and this is exactly how it works. But if we are pretty clear that we want this to work, it will work.
Bidan, I think 6-7 shlokas is little on the higher side as per my reading. Maybe we should be more conservative because time, we can't stretch the time beyond a limit. So maybe we should do something which is doable. That's all.
Let's do a back calculation that if Tattva Bodha has to be completed, say in 2 months, how many shlokas we need to do? Is it okay to do 5? Because somewhere we should also have a goal in mind that we should be able to complete this prakarana. Otherwise, it'll go on and on and on and on. Is that okay? So we can probably discuss this, Prema, whether we can have 5 or 6 or 7, and how many people will be interested in being a part of this. Accordingly, we take it. Right. Is it okay for any further questions that you all have?
Bidan, can I pitch in?
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, so I
I
see
haven't
that.
seen you from a long time.
Yeah, Bidan.
Just switch on your video, please.
Actually, I'm in the hall and a lot of people around. So next time,
okay, fine.
I'll do that. Yeah. So the challenge, Bidan, is that I see that many of the people here are quite well versed with Vedas, at least according to me, and I am at the very bottom of it. And most of the things I feel like I'm understanding, but I don't know if I'm exactly understanding it. So while we are doing this and while I want to go with the journey, is it also okay to have recaps after a certain topic is, completed, so that we get the gist of it? Because going through every mantra and every verse is beautiful, but I think finally getting the gist of it put together also is important, at least for people like me. We will hold on to that better than holding on to each verse, I think.
Absolutely. Makes sense.
Yeah, even I agree with that. I totally agree with Uma.
Thank you.
Some synopsis kind of thing.
Yes, that is required.
Done. So maybe we can decide when do we, maybe with every chapter, completion of every chapter, we'll have one session only on the synopsis. Yes, why not? Let's do this. Makes sense.
Also, I have a question here, like our understanding and interpretation may be different. So I see that there's a lot of questions going back and forth, like, in terms of understanding, and how sure are we that what we are, telling or explaining is appropriate or relevant? I mean, that's my big question. Like, on what basis can we say that we are fine with this? So
okay. So we are going to basically refer to Swami Paramatmananda's videos and his talks and his literature. Also, so that, and I'm sure having gone through session 1 and session 2, most of you, the basic understanding is in place. So don't worry about that. That will be fine. And there are enough and more people here to point out, oh, there seems to be some logical error somewhere. So let's relook at it. We'll be able to figure out if something is going wrong. And the videos that we are going to send it to you for Tattva Bodha will be from multiple people. So if we have time and the effort, we can just listen to them as well. But so Sapna, what are you asking? Are you asking that my understanding has been correct or not, or my representation has been correct or not, or what exactly is? your question.
So it's just not taking the verse and explaining. I think there are a lot of questions around it. Like you will ask about how to implement it, or what does this mean, or take it a little beyond just that verse, and whether we are capable enough to do that. I give that explanation to answer those questions that come from the group. I'm not sure. Like if it's just listening to a guru and giving that essence of it is fine, but there might be questions beyond that which I'm not sure about. Like that's my
I
So-
think this should be a forum to bounce these kind of questions and get the answers, rather than just listening to somebody passively and then getting out of the class. So this has to happen from, I think, everyone. I think we should be able to answer even somebody else's questions if we can.
Yeah.
And it will have to be overlooked by somebody. I hope you're going to be there every. Because
That's
you
the
will have
right
to
question,
help us out
Santosh.
here.
Yeah.
You need to.
I'm
we get
most-
stuck somewhere, or we're not able to answer.
Yeah, so that's what I meant. Like
Yeah, I think that's
we need
something.
somebody who can support these things. That's all I mean. That's what I meant. So otherwise we'll keep going back and forth, because it's still new, whatever said and done. This is familiar, and we know we can do our best. But yes, and it's also good to have these questions. But after having these questions, how do we know that it's actually understood right, or it's told in a right way to whoever is asking, the seeker also?
All right. So let's do one thing. Let's start this right now. As far as I'm certainly committed to be a part of you all and be a part of this entire process. How much I will be present every time, that's difficult to say right now. But the idea is to be there as much as possible, because this is more like a place where each one of you are becoming a teacher yourself. That's the idea of having this. So that once you get a grasp of how it is, then you start explaining it to others as well. It will happen. I know it will happen. So let's start this process. So it'll happen. How, where, when, we didn't even know that this is ever going to happen, but this happened, right? So all these things happen. Anything else?
Let's try.
Yeah, let's go ahead with it. Perfect. Thank you so much. And we'll just populate a particular, that when do we want to do it, how we want to do it, teams who all want to be part of this entire process. And then we quickly formulate it and take it forward. Is it okay? Anybody wants to end it with a prayer? Anybody would want to just end with a prayer here? Anybody who can chant? Someone? Any prayer? We need to learn Shanti mantras. That's very important. Few things that we'll have to learn, and we'll do this. Okay, Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. Is anybody want to chant that, or shall I go ahead and do it? I'll do it then. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Sarve Santu Niramaya. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Ma Kaschit Bhag Bhave. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you so much. See you all very soon next week.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
See you all.
Yeah.